Welcome to A&B Horror Movies. I'm Aaron.
Hi, Aaron.
Hi,
I'm Ben.
Caroline. And we have three amazing guests today. Caroline Williams, welcome. You are a horror legend. We can't wait to chat with you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you for coming on.
And we also have Lauren Marie. Lauren, hello. It's nice to see you again. Thank you
Hola,
for
my friends. ¿Cómo están?
chatting with us. Yes. And last but not least, we have David Lenik. David, welcome.
Hi, thank you. Glad to be here. Thank you for having us.
Coming on.
Yes, exactly. So we have you all on today because we are going to be talking about your brand new Christmas horror, He Sees When You're Sleeping. Drum roll. So congratulations on your new film. Excellent. Ben and I both saw it. We love it. We're fans. So why don't we kick things off? Ben, I'll turn it over to you for the first question.
I just want to say thank you for coming on. And I also want to say I watched it today and it is a breath of fresh air from all the other horror films that I've watched lately. I loved it.
Thank you.
Yay.
Absolutely loved it. So my first question would be to David. And how did the script come about? The idea?
Yeah, so it's actually an idea I've had for a number of years. Like I'm such a fan of slasher movies, 70s, 80s slasher movies, always been a fan. And I'm predominantly an actor, but the last couple of years I've been getting more into writing. I've always written, but I've only done it professionally the last couple of years. And it was during lockdown, obviously during COVID, I had a lot more time to dedicate to writing. I wasn't able to do any acting or any filming or anything, so I needed something creative to do. So that's kind of how writing came back into my life. I'd always loved slasher films. I've always loved the Christmas subgenre, horror subgenre. So it just made sense to finally put down all these ideas that I've had in my head for such a long time. And yeah, I had a couple of months to actually get the script written. I had so much time on my hands, and yeah, I just had a great time writing it. It's just basically ideas that had been circulating in my head for years, basically. Films like Black Christmas, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Scream, all those types of films that I've loved for years. I just kind of
Oh, sorry.
kind of put in, yeah, amazing. Love that. Love that.
We need that. We need that merch.
We absolutely. Um,
Yes. Let's talk after it. I know somebody might be able to help you out.
but yeah, films kind of just came into kind of one big idea, and I knew I wanted to write a Killer Santa movie, and here we are now. So a couple of years later.
Well, there was two other films I had in mind, both brilliant films, and they kind of sort of merged this, which I think made it so good. It was Ready or Not and a film called Knives Out.
Ah, yes.
And it's a mystery film mixed with like a sort of a horror and it was such a good mix. So yeah, I thought it was brilliant.
Wanted to kind of put in like the kind of mystery element to it. Obviously it's got all like, the kind of usual stuff and that kind of thing. But yeah, I wanted there to be like a twist and like a mystery to keep you guessing in the thing. There's kind of a lot of nods to Psycho 2 in it as well. That's another one of my favorite movies. So it's all kind of got those kind of vibes, and definitely paying homage to a lot of my favorite films. That's for sure.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Very cool. So that's a great question to start it off. My next question is for Caroline and Lauren. How did you both become involved with the film?
Lauren,
Want to
go.
go first? Oh, I mean, I'll go first because my story is very short. I got a mysterious email in my inbox from, I believe it was from Charlie, right, David? I think it was from Charlie first. He sent it.
One of I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah. So it just the in the memo it just said British horror movie, and I was like, well, this is intriguing. It must not be spam. So luckily it didn't go to spam. So I clicked on it, and there was a nice little a little note from Charlie saying, "Hi, I got your email through this person or that person, and I hope you don't mind. You're very British sounding." And yeah, they said that there was a role that they would like me to play, and I was available. And it was a great reason to visit my son and his wife in Buffalo, was to do a movie along the way. So it worked out perfectly with the timing and everything. Yeah, that's my story with this one. Yeah.
Awesome.
So for me, my dear friend Brendan Patrizzo, who's with the Asylum, I do tons of work for them. They're fun and great. Sent me this trailer for a movie directed by Charlie Steeds, called An English Haunting.
Oh yeah. Great.
Yeah. And I looked at that trailer and called my friend and said, what the, this is pretty great. Do I get to go to England? He said, no, but you get to go to Buffalo. And explained to me David Lenik, the fact that Charlie and David worked together a lot, the fact that David was going to be on set acting a role. For me, if the writer is there, if it's a writer director, if the writer is available to me, it's the greatest treasure, because I'm not one of those actors. I don't write bios and do all those things. I want to strip mine the writer's head, because he's the one who created the character, and I want to get that from him and the director. So I thought, wow, what a terrific opportunity. And they were going to let me play the role of Aunt Marion, very Southern. Basically I'm playing one of my aunties, one of my many aunties that I grew up with in Little Rock. And, impossible to turn down.
Brilliant.
Awesome.
I'll ask, this is kind of to everybody, how strange does it feel filming a Christmas film when it's not Christmas? I'm not sure what time of year it was, but
yeah, so we actually filmed this in late September, October time in just like outside of Buffalo, like in a really small town, and it was everyone in town was saying it's unusually warm for that kind of season. So it was actually incredibly hot outside. So it made it even more unusual making a Christmas film and trying to make it look like it was colder than it was, because it was not cold at all.
Yeah.
I think
and those sweaters that you all wore. Oh my gosh, you must have been so hot.
Well,
There it is.
I was freezing the whole time.
Blood. Oh,
Spoiler alert.
I was
fantastic.
freezing the whole time. So, and we were shooting splits, as I recall. So there was some daytime, but it was mostly, we were doing a lot of nights. And upon my arrival, I had come down with the flu. Incredible challenge for everyone involved. I came down with the flu.
Gosh.
I was virtually unconscious for 2 days, and it wasn't COVID. I just basically was inert for 2 days. So by the time I finally got my ass out of bed to go work, I was still kind of recuperating. But the role is so terrific, and the show is of the cast of players. There was such richness with all of these wonderful actors. The anticipation of being able to work with them and see them, and work with David, work with Charlie, who is very enigmatic, by the way. That's what got me out of bed. That's what kept me motivated.
Yeah, no, I mean, you've done like a lot of traveling. You've been on like multiple plane journeys, and you were really, really ill, weren't you? I
think I came down with it. I had done a convention in Iowa before coming to Buffalo. And of course, I missed my flight coming to Buffalo. Buffalo is fogged in. They sent us to Cleveland. I hit the hotel at 3 a.m. and lay on a bed until 6 when our flight finally made it to Buffalo. The boys met me at the airport. I was up for 24 hours.
Oh my God.
And then just completely collapsed in a heap. And because they're English, you know how the English are. The English are unflappable. My grandmother was English. I never saw her lose her temper. I mean, I remember once she said, I pride myself on my reserve, and she threw a scotch and water across the lawn. That's as bad as it ever got with my grandmother. But they were completely chill. They were completely cool. And after 2 days of shooting around me, I for whatever reason, I was ready to go. And I just enjoyed it so much. It was so great.
Yeah, I mean, because I mean, yeah, you were so sick in bed for, a couple of days, and then as soon as you were out of bed, you were like, it was like that. You were completely on it, and it was, yeah, it was like two different people. It was amazing.
So it didn't show in your performance. So
Nope, not at all. Um, let's see. Well, Caroline, I have a question for you. So you've been in so many horror movies: Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, The Stepfather 2, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, even
Leprechaun
Sharknado,
3.
Leprechaun 3, even Sharknado 4, Tales of
My
Halloween.
resume is riddled with Roman numerals.
Lots of sequels, but they're all fantastic films. So my question is, what was it about Aunt Marion that made you want to play her? And were there were there some of your past roles that informed your take on Aunt Marion?
I've never played anybody like Aunt Marion. I've never had the occasion of playing somebody like like Auntie Marion. She's based on my grandmother and my various aunties. I had such a rich family life. They were all great aunts. So by the time I came along, they were up there in age and living it out, And Charlie and David were extremely generous in letting me play her. Very Southern.
Mhm.
I wanted to put that Ruth Gordon, Geraldine Page spin
Yeah.
on it because those characters are very like the women I grew up with, and it just they were so generous with me. They just spun me up and let me go, and I tried to give Charlie a different take every single time, a different line, a different, David wasn't precious about his script. If I had some inspiration for a line, he let me go. It was just a very loose atmosphere, which is so freeing. It's so freeing, and the creative juices can really flow. The other players were that way as well. The other actors played off of all of that as well. And it was just brilliant.
Yeah, I think we were so lucky with just everyone in the cast. Everyone did just such an amazing job, and everyone worked really well together. And we were up against it with time. People were just working so hard into the early hours and just really working together. It was a team, and we had so much fun doing it as well.
And I think you can see that it comes through in the film. And I know it's scripted, and of course, there's a lot of planning that goes into it. But it seemed like you all were getting along and having a good time while you were making the film.
Especially, sorry, I was going to say, especially, with no separate rehearsal dates, or a table read or anything. We all went in, and it's the first time we're meeting all these people that on paper we have these relationships with. So it was I don't want to say it was challenging because David and Charlie made everything so easy for us. But in a normal world, you usually have like a chemistry screen test type of thing to see how everybody jives together. And it was just it really was. It was just such a wonderful experience to just walk on set and feel like I know these people.
Yeah.
And you get that from the writing too. I believe a huge part of it, obviously, David obviously, is from the writing because the characters are so well formed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, thank you, Lauren. Yeah, it really did feel. Oh, sorry to interrupting you.
Nope, go ahead.
It really did feel like that. I think because the script is so kind of fun and silly, I think that just kind of opened it up a lot to all of us, just to kind of have that fun as well. And it did feel like we'd known each other for a long time, even when we were meeting each other for the first time. So yeah, it just slotted in really well, I think, for sure. And because Lauren, you were like quite late into the shoot, weren't you? So by that, we'd all known each other and worked together. And then as soon as you came on, again, it felt like it's just another member of the family showing up. So yeah, it was.
I've got a question for Lauren, actually. First, I want to say you are generally a very, very nice person from when I spoke to you before. So by the time I'm not saying this question isn't saying that you're not an honest person anyway. But every time I see a film, you are playing a really nice person, from Friday the 13th to In a Violent Nature and this. But there was some sarcasm from you in this as well. And I was like, you'd be pretty good at maybe being a bit more of a villain. And I just wondered if you'd enjoy to play a villain, maybe.
I think that those days are coming very quickly, where I play somebody that I have never played that type of role before. So that's definitely coming up. It's in the very near future, right, David?
Very, very near, actually. Yeah.
Oh,
very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, keeping that under wraps at the moment. But yeah, something very cool.
Yeah, okay. We won't push then, but keep us informed. Go ahead, Ben. I keep jumping over.
I was just going to say to Caroline, with your character and Nellie's character, I believe, there was some banter between you two, like in the film, calling each other names, and it was brilliant. And I just wondered if any of that you just went with it, or was it all scripted, the names and stuff? Because there was some really good ones in there.
That was one of those instances where they just let me fly. They just let me go. And I was so tired when we were shooting. Didn't we, David? We shot part of it, and then there was a gap, and then I had to go back, and they turned around and did my coverage.
Yeah,
and
that day,
so
we'd done some of it because you weren't well for the first couple of days. So I think that's it. We might have done a little bit of it without you, I think, and then got you in at a later date, I think.
Right. Yeah, and so my energy level was really, really low. So, but you don't want the audience to see you reaching, and but that's what was great about the room. David, everybody, we got through it, but they really let me just go. They just let me say virtually anything I wanted to say. Yeah. And
things
and it's really, really dirty. So
some of it, yes. Wow.
And that's one of the beauties of being able to play a character like this. She starts out being very affable and quirky and eccentric and things, and then that dark turn starts setting in for more than one of the characters. So that's what's great about these little twists and turns. You're going down these various little alleyways with these characters, and that's what makes the whole thing work.
Oh, brilliant.
I actually think that we have some outtakes of all of the insults that were being thrown in that capacity. So
something for the Blu-ray, some special features.
Kind of, because Lauren's character was like kind of getting a bit with her husband. I was like, oh, she turns up at the end. This could be a really good slagging match, but I won't say no more. And I was like, but yeah.
Yeah, I got a couple of good sneers in there. That was a lot of fun. That cracked these guys up too. I remember David when I did one of the sneers. I forgot which scene, but I don't know. I guess I just lifted my upper lip a little bit, and they just burst out laughing. And we were filming, and they just burst out laughing, so we had to do the whole take over again.
Yeah, yeah, there's one line, right? The pickaxe line, I think is great. I don't want to steal your moment.
Yeah.
Let's see, David, I have a question for you. So you've worked with Charlie Steeds on a few films now, Winter Skin and Freeze. Can you say a little bit about what it's like collaborating with him? I know he couldn't make it today, unfortunately. Working with him and maybe now working with Caroline and Lauren as well.
So yeah, Charlie's just, as the ladies can corroborate, Charlie's a nightmare to work with. So he's just absolutely.
We can edit this out if you want.
Yeah, I've worked with Charlie for, about 8 years now, coming up 8 years. So yeah, we worked on a lot of projects together. And for the first several years, I was only, ever working with him as an actor, actor director. But it's only been like the last couple of years where I've kind of taken on more of the kind of obviously acting part, but more behind the scenes part as well in terms of writing and kind of on the producing side kind of thing. So we're working even more closely together than we ever have before. And for He Sees You, this was like one of the first big times, that we're working together. Like it's my script. We're working very closely together. And he was just so fantastic because I'd not worked with him in that capacity before. And it was just so smooth. And he was just so conscientious to everything, in terms of the script, what I wanted. He would ask me about everything. So he's just, very caring, and just so easy to work with. Like we have a shorthand with each other where we know what each other's thinking or what we're going to say next when we're on set. So yeah, I mean, I trust him 100% completely when I'm filming with him, and in general. But to have like this script that I was so passionate about and love so much, I don't know if I would have trusted anyone else other than Charlie to kind of take the helm on that, and he just did a fantastic job. So yeah, so in terms of working with him in the past, he's put me through a lot of stuff in the past in terms of like freeze, for instance, like putting me on top of a Norwegian mountain at degrees. But I keep
Oh my
coming.
God.
Keep coming back. Yes.
Yeah.
That speaks volumes.
What I liked about Charlie so much, he's entirely confident. If he isn't entirely confident, he hides it remarkably well. It doesn't work for me if a director is constantly second guessing himself, being forced to deal with a bureaucracy of advisors. You want that steady hand on the wheel. And Charlie was always like that. And so I had confidence. When the director is confident and is moving forward shot by shot, feeling good about what is being achieved, he doesn't talk you, or at least he didn't to me. He doesn't talk you. It's just and we were sprinting along with my scenes because we had a lot to catch up on. But I never saw him sweat. I never saw him having hurried little conferences. Everything was solid every step of the way.
Yeah, I've never known anyone to be so chill through anything. He's just very relaxed, and that works for me because I'm quite like an energetic person. So sometimes I need that kind of calming influence. And yeah, Charlie's amazing with that. No matter what's going on, no matter what's going wrong, I don't know how he does it. It's quite amazing. I can't do it, unfortunately.
Oh, great skill to have.
Yeah, very good skill.
David, did writing the script, did it change much from what you read to the screen? And did you write Chester's character with yourself in mind for that as well?
Yeah, so the amazing thing about this script actually is, so I wasn't commissioned to do the script or anything. It was just completely just something I wanted to do, something from my own passion. And luckily, I gave it to Charlie, who really enjoyed it. Then he got it to somebody else, who then got it to Shaked, the producer in LA. And this was all kind of going on behind my back. I didn't know it had reached that far. Charlie was kind of keeping it under wraps. And they apparently they loved it, and they really didn't ask for much to be changed. So pretty much what you see in the film is pretty much what's written, other than the times where we went a bit free, like we had the option to kind of the actors bring their own kind of like thing into it. But otherwise, yeah, not much was changed at all. So that was really lucky. because a lot of these things can be completely rewritten. But yeah, amazingly, that did not happen here. And I did actually write Chester for myself. I think being an actor as well, like couldn't help but not just see myself in that character. And I hoped at the time that one day I would get to play it. I didn't know at that point whether the film would get made. I just knew that I saw myself as that character and had all these kind of crazy characters around me. But yeah, I was very lucky that I did get to play him in the end. But yeah, it was always from the beginning was a role that I envisioned for myself.
You did bring some
cool.
British feel to it with your jumpers, by the way.
A good jumper game in this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. I have sort of a fun question for Caroline and Lauren. There are segments in the film where you have to scream and very loudly, and you both do it very well.
Thank you.
What's it like filming the screaming scenes like that? Do you have to do it multiple times, and do you lose your voice? I mean, you've been in the industry for a while, so you probably can answer this quite well.
Lauren, you go.
Oh no, I don't know. Maybe Aaron and I and Ben and I have talked about this before. Maybe not. But years ago, even when I was on the soap opera, I was commissioned to dub a bunch of horror movie screams because my scream, I guess they liked it in the business. So it was like, for me, it was just like old hat. I'm always a victim. I'm always screaming. So I would scream for other actresses in other movies, and it was cool. Great. I was very happy when I read it. I was like, yeah, I get to scream some more. But no, you don't lose your voice. Yeah, I lose my voice from talking too much.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
I had a real screaming crisis on Chainsaw 2 because there was so much screaming. There was a point when it just cut out and it was gone, and I could barely get any dialogue out. So they alternated screaming and non-screaming days. We would have dialogue days, we would have screaming days. And I haven't had an experience like that since. And I've been in horror films where I don't scream at all. In this one, the screams were just kind of organic to the moment in the movie. So Charlie didn't do multiple screaming takes specifically for a scream. It would the scream would happen, in the scene or not. So it was actually pretty easy.
Okay, good, fair enough. Like I said, you both did an incredible job.
Yeah,
I remember Lauren just screaming the house down when we were doing scenes. But yeah, there was a lot of screaming in that house. A lot.
Yes. And no spoilers. We don't want to give anything away. Yeah. Well, we do have viewer questions, but Ben, why don't you jump in?
Yeah, I've got one quick one for all three of you. So to Caroline and is there another horror franchise that you haven't? I think I've asked Lauren this before, but is there another horror franchise that you haven't been in that you would like to have a go at? And David, is there a horror franchise that you would like to write a script for?
Oh, that's a very good question. I'll let Caroline go first.
I sail into the prevailing winds. That I never, I don't know, my desires, I never think in terms of any specific. There are directors I would like to work for. I'd like to work for David Fincher. I'd like to work for David Ayer. I'd like to work, and they're not even specifically horror directors. I mean, I'd like to work for Robert Rodriguez. I'm very excited to work for the director that I'm working for when I get to Austin, Stephen Romano. He's also a writer-director, which is a wonderful thing. I did a movie not too long ago that I think is going to be a terrific movie for Josh Lou Friedman. He used to be an AD, one of the most popular ADs in Los Angeles. And we made a wonderful, fun movie in Albuquerque. I never think in those terms, really. Sorry. I didn't answer your question, really.
That's fair enough.
I mean, I would love to be part of the American Horror Story
Oh yeah,
experience. And
yeah.
you know me, I'm a sucker for those Conjuring movies. The Nun, I mean, put me as an evil nun, I'll eat that up and get back at all the nuns from my childhood, all those years at Catholic school.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean I love all like the kind of horror franchises that you can think of. Obviously, Texas Chainsaw, Friday the 13th. I love all those. Grew up on those. I would love to be in a Halloween movie, like in that franchise. I mean, obviously, writing one would be insanely amazing. Something like that would be very cool. I really love the Halloween movies, but I love them all.
So do
And,
I.
maybe
I love the Halloween movies too. It's a little bit of a shrine behind me, that's all.
Halloween films. Yeah,
Awesome.
that's my favorite franchise.
Cool. Well, why don't we jump right into the viewer questions, keeping an eye on the time here. So the first ones we have are from Mike Freeman. You can find him on Instagram at Mike Freeman77. He says, Christmas is a very sentimental time of year, but audiences sure love mixing Christmas and horror, especially killer Santas. Why do you think that is?
So I personally think because I love seeing, horror at Christmas. I think because Christmas is such like a peaceful, happy time and it's so pretty and everything's kind of perfect. I like the fact that under all that kind of perfection and beauty, there's something, really terrifying underneath, something really scary bubbling up in like a otherwise beautiful, peaceful setting. I think that makes it just infinitely more terrifying because that's a time when people are the most happy and people aren't expecting anything to kind of go wrong. And in terms of like a Killer Santa, I mean, I knew I had to make a Killer Santa movie because just when I was a kid and I watched Silent Night, Deadly Night, just seeing like Santa with a bloody axe was so visually amazing and stunning to me. I was like, this is so cool. Yeah, there we go again. There we go again.
There he is.
The image. Yeah, it was so striking to me, and I just thought it was just so cool. So yeah, that's personally why I wanted to kind of do a Christmas horror, but that's also why I think Christmas and horror go, pretty well with each other, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah, great answer. Ben, do you want to do the next?
Yeah, it's from Brian. Hello, Brian. We do know Brian at Fake Voorhees. And the first one is for Lauren, and it is, what drew you back to the slasher movies after such a long time?
Oh, Chris Nash from In a Violent Nature. When everything comes through email. I got that script in an email and I'm reading through it, and just how ambient that movie was, but still like Christmas, it's this joyful time of year, but the woods, it's so quiet, and then you've got this creepy killer walking around, and I get to live in that one, spoiler alert. So he really drew me back into it with offering me that role. It was just like, oh wow. And then when I saw it on the big screen and at the Manhattan premiere, I was like, oh wow, I don't look the same anymore. It had been so long since I saw myself on camera on a big screen,
On the big screen.
Yeah, you see yourself on TV commercials or in ads, billboards, whatever. My kids always say, Mom, you're following me around. I was in Times Square and I saw you on a billboard. But to actually be in a movie again, it was really awesome. So you can blame Chris Nash for that one. Yeah, for drawing me back.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And I just want to say congrats on In a Violent Nature. Your role in it is fantastic.
Oh,
probably the most important and best role and scene in the entire film.
Thank
so
you.
Congrats on being
Thanks.
a part of that. Yeah.
Thanks.
Ben, I think you have a second part to yours.
Yeah, this one's for Caroline. It says you've been involved in big horror franchises: Texas Chainsaw, Halloween, Leprechaun, Hatchet, Stepfather. Out of all these, which of the killers did you find the scariest?
Oh, gosh. I would have to say Terry O'Quinn, because he's this wonderful, benevolent father, and he's kind. Playing our scenes together, just his vibe when we were playing our scenes together was scary. I mean, he's a very nice man, but the character he plays is certainly not a nice man. And he's so ordinary, you know? I mean, really great horror to me is when the ordinary meets the extraordinary. That's where it happens. Yeah.
Yeah, great choice. I'm getting chills just thinking about his role in the Stepfather films.
And
oh my
that
gosh.
scene when he catches me, that reveal when he catches me
Yes.
looking through his stuff. It's
So
very
good.
scary.
And a little bit of trivia. We actually all watched that a couple of days on set before you arrived, Caroline, and we rewatched Stepfather 2. Personal favorite of mine. I love it.
Oh, that's awesome. Let's see. We've got two more from viewers, and we'll do this or that. This is from Dallas Walters, Instagram @_filmfiend_. He said, "What are, in your opinions, the biggest do's and don'ts when making a film?" Any ideas? I don't know.
Well, one of the basic things that I learned so early on is you don't say it, you show it. Film is a visual medium, and people are mesmerized by what that camera does. And if characters talk too much, one of the cliches of every genre, it seems, is when the character has the weapon and he's going to shoot the star of the movie, they talk on and on and on, and you know the star of the film is not going to die. And it just kind of, that's not true in our, well, I don't want to say anything about our film, but that David knows how to keep the suspense. David and Charlie knew how to draw the suspense out, and you don't want to mess with your suspense.
Cool. Good answer. Ben, do you want to take the last one?
Yeah, I was just seeing if anyone else had any.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I just jumped right in.
That's cool. Yeah, this is from Billy Joseph Jr. at Billy Joseph Jr. He says, "I am an actor writer and I'm writing a 5-minute script for a horror film contest. What are the tips you can give me to help me scare the hell out of the audience with this script?"
Go, David, go.
Yeah, that's for you, David.
How to scare the wits out of you. That is a very good question. So I think obviously if you're writing a short film, the horror has got to be a lot more condensed, and you've kind of you've kind of got to. That's a very good question. I'm just thinking of.
We can come back to it if you want.
And in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
in 5 minutes. Yeah.
Jeez.
That is a good one though. I've not written a short film before, but I've seen so many good ones that have done it so well. I think just to be able to get the horror in such like a short amount of time and do it successfully, I think it's amazing. So and to do that in a short film, I actually in some ways find that more difficult than an actual feature because you have so much more time to kind of spread things out and put so much stuff in. But with a short film, you kind of need to get to it like that. So I've not actually written a short film before, but there's so many good ones that would be a good way to draw inspiration from. But yeah, I think it's just you've got to condense it and get straight to it, but also be effective at the same time. That's probably not very helpful in terms of.
I think that makes sense. Go ahead.
There actually was a 2-minute short film some years back called Lights Out. It was literally 2 minutes, and it was scary. And I'm not going to give anything away because it's good, I think, to look at things like that as an example. They ended up expanding it into a full length, and I don't think it did as well as the short film.
Yeah, no, you're right. Less is more. Yeah, the swimming pool, I think, is a similar example. Okay, go ahead, Ben.
Sorry, there's a second part of the question. He also asks,
Oh,
How do I get cast in one of your killer movies?
we'll put you in touch with Billy Joseph after this. Go ahead.
He was in Atlanta.
I think he's in Georgia. Yeah, I believe.
Okay, well, yeah, that's ironic, seeing as that's where I am right now, and that's where Charlie is right now. Yeah, maybe, and that's where Lauren will be in a very short space of time.
Mhm.
So yeah, you never know, anything
Cool.
can happen. So
Can
Yeah,
I just
no.
say, can I just say, Billy, don't forget us.
All right. Oh, that's awesome. Well, we can't wait to hear more about your project you're working on. I know you can't share anything at the moment, but please keep us updated, and we'd
absolutely.
love to have you back on, as you know. Let's do the this or that segment. Now, this is fun. There's no pressure. We say two things. You just pick one or the other. So I'll kick it off. A Christmas Story, the movie, or National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Go
I
with that.
second that.
Yeah, it's Christmas Vacation for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Margot and Todd are fantastic. Go ahead, Ben.
Candy canes or gingerbread cookies?
Gingerbread cookies.
Same.
Wow, nice. You guys are on
How
a
long
roll.
is at our house?
Let's see. A big Christmas party or a small gathering?
Small gathering.
Yeah, I would say small gathering as well. But
I'm going to say go big. I like watching
Go
people
big.
get drunk.
Yeah, I'm up for that one.
Yeah.
Um, Black Christmas 74 or Silent Night, Deadly Night 1984?
Black Christmas.
Black. Yeah. Black.
Same.
Yeah, of course.
Hands down.
Hopefully you'll know what these are. Peanut butter balls or peanut butter blossoms. They're
I
both
have no-
a type of cookies. I figured Ben wouldn't know.
Yeah, I don't think me and Ben get them in the UK. I don't know what.
Bulls.
So peanut butter. Okay.
Always bull.
Bullocks.
Bollocks. All right, let's move on then, Ben. Why don't you take the next one?
Real or fake Christmas tree?
Oh, real.
So real. Fake. Ugh.
Can't
Exactly.
have the smell. Love the
But
smell.
I'm Jewish, so I have them in New York too.
Oh, okay. Two,
It's
yeah.
like we do it all in my house.
All of it, yeah.
I do. I love the smell of a real Christmas tree, of course, but I actually do have a fake Christmas tree because it's like one of those frozen white ones.
Oh, cool.
Love it, and it's so trashy, but it's
Oh,
We
it's
won't tell them.
less mess. Yes, there you go. Eggnog or hot chocolate?
Hot chocolate.
I actually mix. I know that sounds weird, but I
Ooh.
mix.
That could be nice.
And I put them
Yeah.
in my coffee during the holiday
gosh.
season. Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
Hot toddy.
That sounds fantastic. Maybe some Kahlua. David, did you say I didn't?
well, yeah, you can't go wrong with hot chocolate.
Oh, okay, perfect.
I remember, Caroline, you were drinking a lot of coffee and hot chocolate. Actually, if that rings a bell.
Oh, dude, seriously.
Yeah.
I was socking it away.
Yeah.
I was on a caffeine high. I was on a jag.
All right, Ben, I've got a few more.
Oh yeah, it's more going on.
We tried to keep them. Go ahead.
Snowmen or reindeer?
Reindeer.
Say again?
Snowmen or reindeer?
I would go with reindeer. I don't like snow. I don't like the cold. I live in California.
Oh gosh. Let's see. Killer elves or gremlins?
Killer elves.
I gotta have both. I mean, if you're a fan of Krampus, as I am, Michael Dougherty's Krampus movie, which is like on a loop in my house during the holidays, that and
Love that
Elf.
movie.
Yeah.
I've got to have both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Gremlins only because I love those movies. They're childhood favorite.
A few more.
Krampus or the Grinch?
Krampus.
The Grinch.
Krampus.
Okay, fair
I'm
enough.
in the Grinch remake, so I'm like abandoning my own appearance.
Yes, that's true. Let's see. Three more. White Christmas or sunny and warm? So snow or warm?
Sunny and warm.
White Christmas.
Yeah,
I'm in Northeast.
Yeah, White Christmas for sure.
David, you know we don't get a white Christmas, though,
In the 90s, not showing my age or anything, but we used to get like a White Christmas every year. But the last like 15 years, we don't get anything.
In the UK?
Wow.
Yeah, I'm actually going away to Scotland this year to make sure I do get some snow, and I probably won't even get none now. So I'll just fix it.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Friday the 13th or Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
We had to throw.
I did not write this. I did not write these.
Chainsaw Massacre.
I'll go back to back on those.
Yeah, you gotta say both.
All
right, one more. Yeah, one more. We always ask this: Jaws or the original Halloween?
Jaws.
Why do you make it so hard? Oh man.
Ben always steals the show. Look, he's got the big Jaws poster right now.
Yeah.
I love Jaws and I'm a beachy kind of gal, but I gotta go with the original Halloween for the ambiance of Halloween.
Yes, I
And
support
Jamie
that.
Lee.
Halloween, but although Jaws 2, that's underrated, just saying.
It is.
Absolutely. All right. Well, this has been amazing. Thank you all for joining. I guess in closing, what would you tell those who haven't seen the film to make them go out and see He Sees You When You're Sleeping?
You'll never sit on Santa's lap again.
Is that the tagline? That's good.
Only to give a lap dance, but that's me.
Oh, there you go.
I love that one. It will have been a tremendous expenditure of time and money. You will walk away satisfied with this film.
And I reiterate that, but just in case nobody knows, it comes out on streaming platforms and VOD on November the 1st. So very, very soon. And we hope that you love our little movie, and we've got some, a fantastic cast in it, fantastic group, and yeah, just really hope you enjoy it. And why would you not want to watch a Killer Santa over Christmas?
I'm going to buy my own movie. I do
Yeah.
that. I do. I keep it in my little library.
Yeah.
Video library.
We'll definitely get a copy too. Yeah. We're fans. We're fans of your film. So, like I've said a few times, congratulations to all three of you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
perfect-
much. Thank you for
You're
inviting
welcome.
us on the show.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you for having us on.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Lauren.
Same. Perhaps we'll run into each other at an airport somewhere.
Even if we're just boxes on a screen.
Yes, virtual, right?
First grade horrors as well. So,
Yes.
David, Caroline, Lauren, thank you for coming on. Love the film. I definitely tell people to go and watch this. It is probably the best horror I've watched in ages. I enjoyed, so I just like to tell you that. And yeah, cheers for coming on. And go over to Instagram, follow us at A&B Horror Movies, and if you do already follow us on YouTube, cheers. If you don't, hit the like and subscribe. Go and check this film out.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank you.
Guys.
Good to see you, David.
So good to see you, Caroline. I'll hopefully see you soon. Hopefully.
Best of luck in Atlanta.
Thank you so much.
To all of you.
Good luck
To
with your-
both of you.
Thanks.